Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. I have to sharpen the hole saw so I can drill a hole in the back of the furnace with it. But it did get through this. I just think the furnace wall is going to be a little bit tougher since I won't have a drill press to help me push. So I think I'll take this hole saw down in the basement, set up the saw sharpener, and see if I can get her going. This is the fan that came with the furnace. And it's a, let's see, 0.34 amps. And it blows. I mean, it puts out air. This one used to be a ceiling fan in the big bathroom before I rebuilt before I put a new fan in. This one is a 0.65 amps, 2400 RPMs as opposed to 1600 RPMs. I'll give you an idea. What the difference is. I'll plug this one back in again. What a mess. Now I'll plug this one back in again and let's see what the difference is. Put this over here where I can grab a hold of it. Very similar in size, but this one only has half the amps that that one does. And this one pumps out a lot more air. Now they both have a 2-inch port on them. Now, I originally was going to take this 4-square box cover and attach it to this with some pop rivets, and then use this to anchor the fan to the furnace. So I don't want to do that. I wanted to do it like this, so I could drop that on there. And now I got another idea. Now this fan blows a lot more air. It's already clean. I don't need to do anything to it other than put the extension wire on it, and then it'll be ready to go. And while I was looking for some other stuff, I found this little adapter, which is designed to attach a piece of 2-inch conduit to the top of a power panel. This is a connector, and it's going to fit right over the top of that. Just about perfect. The only thing it's got to do, this little seam here sticks up enough that it stops the fan from going completely into the bore, and it should go against that little stop in the back there. So I'm going to cut this off a little bit using the bandsaw, and then we'll see what happens. That's going to fit really nice. Now, I just have to put a screw through the sides of this and into that collar, not into that nozzle on the fan, the exit port. I can bolt this up to the back of the furnace through these 4 holes, and I'll have a really nice fitting mount to hang this fan on, and I can just take it off with a couple of screws from the sides instead of having to try and reach through and take this off. Take the screws off from the sides, I can pull this off with the 4 bolts. So that's the plan for today. Get this bugger hooked up, see what happens. I think I'm going to drill the holes through this on the drill press. That way I'll be able to clamp it in the vise and do a better job of it. Sometimes taking a little time and thinking about things is time well spent. go. That's a nice solid anchor. Now this one, I'm probably going to have to drill by hand. Because, well, let's see. Maybe I can do it this way. Don't want to give up on the first try. There we go. Oh, that's solid. That's going to be excellent. Okay, now I got to take this off and go over and mark out that hole and drill out my 2-inch hole. Life gets tedious, doesn't it? That's okay. This is the worst thing I ever have to do. That's still pretty bad. I've done worse things in my life than this. Crawled through spaces that I didn't want to be in, with things that in there that I never wanted to meet in my life again. Okay, that's going to cover those holes up. And these holes and all that's going to look good. There's the end cap. Okay, I just gotta bore some holes in there and I'm all set. Kind of an off angle, but that's okay. Okay, I have to go get the recirc fan and get the combustion blower, attach that here. I'm not going to put the plug on it tonight. I want to try it. I want to see what happens. I want to put some wood in there and see what happens. Bit dusty. It's a bit dusty. Whew. At least these foam pads are nice. Beats laying on the concrete. Insulation is a little softer. Not a bad deal. Put my gloves on in case I grab a hold of something sharp when I'm getting out of here. I'm going to leave that hole small. I've kicked up the power of the blower. I want to see what happens with that. I don't want to change too many things at once. I can always come back here and bore that hole out a bit more. There's a pipe in there, and I think I'd have to figure out just how big that pipe is before I'd go cutting a hole, because I'd hate to drill the hole and have the pipe fall loose, because that's the pipe that separates the firebox from the airbox. And if I break a hole in that, then I've got firebox going into the airbox, or airbox going into the firebox, depends on which one's got more pressure. And either way, it's gonna not be what I want. And that alone is enough to say, okay, let's hold off a little bit, think about this, try it, see what happens. Putting on that bigger blower is going to make a difference in how much air I get out of the fan, that's for sure. There. Solid as a rock. Now that's some air volume. Getting just enough to feel it. Now we've got some air volume coming out of there. Getting that fan cleaned up and the bearings oiled and greased up. Made a big difference. Now look at the fan coming out of here. It's enough to inflate the bag again. So I think this is going to work a lot better. It's going to generate more heat. Going to push it out in the room better. 38 degrees in here. That's not because the fans have been running. That's just because it's warming up outside. But it's still going to be cold enough to need a furnace. It's a tough job, but we got it. Very happy to be this far along in the project. If you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.